it was a bad week for Drake Maye. I didn't want to touch this subject, but he threw 4 picks and 6 passes earlier this week, and some people were freaking out. And then I saw a lot of people saying, this doesn't matter at all. It doesn't. It's OTAs. It's May. It doesn't matter. But what I then see on top of that is this doesn't matter. The Patriots offense is going to take huge steps this year. That's why they're going to win 11, 12 games, because Drake Maye is going to be another Pro Bowl kind of quarterback. And this Josh McDaniels offense is just going to have liftoff. Stefon Diggs is going to be back to Stefon Diggs. And this is where you start to lose me. Because I think when we get to that point, we are overrating what the Patriots offense is going to be. This defense turning around and potentially becoming a top 10 defense in the league, I'm on board with that. I see that vision, even though I don't love the resume of the defensive coordinator. I see that. I see how they've improved in free agency with veterans on the defensive side of the football. And of course, added a couple of guys in the draft as well. With the offense, this is a lot that we have to take into consideration here. They need to really jump leaps and bounds everywhere around Drake Maye. And you need Drake Maye to then also have a stellar sophomore season, which, as we see every year in the NFL, is not guaranteed. If you put a gun to my foot right now and said, is Drake Maye going to have a good season? I'd say yes. I do think he's going to make a bit of a jump. But year 2, new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new offensive line, thank God. There's a lot that goes into that. And yet I've got people just absolutely burning him after his first practice for throwing 4 picks. Is 4 picks great? No, it's not. Does that mean he's going to suck in the regular season? Of course not. Does it mean something? Yes, it does. It does mean something. What it means is that hopefully this is a wake-up call to some people who think they're going to score 28, 30 points a game in 2025, that's probably not going to happen. That you have still a very young quarterback who at this time last year, no one was going to put as a starter in week 1 in the NFL. We had a lot of game maturing to do, and he did, but he's far from the finished product. Okay, you have a new head coach, defensive-minded head coach again, and you have a new offensive coordinator who's been very successful, but has been known over his career to have very complex schemes. Guys who were just damn good skill position players coming in there at the end of their career couldn't learn the Josh McDaniels playbook. Ask Reggie Wayne. Ask Austin Collie. Ask Steven Jackson. They put him in out of necessity. But that is all. Ask Ocho Cinco, man. Guy's like a Hall of Famer. He couldn't figure it out. So it's been like this for a long time. And I think he's going to be a great thing for Drake Maye. But this is going to take some time here. Like Mac Jones was really efficient for them in year 1. He makes the Pro Bowl. They make the playoffs. That's a really good thumbs up on Josh McDaniels' resume. But how many times did we see him, throwing the ball into the ground or checking it down on a flea flicker or, not taking the big chance? That's what Mac Jones was limited to. He also had a really good veteran team around him, a very good defense, and they signed a ton of veteran guys to play on the offensive side of the ball, right? With Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith. And, they had Damian Harris as a guy who had been in the league a couple of years at running back. And the first overpriced receiver they got, Nelson Aguilar. So they had plenty of vets around him. Here's Drake Maye going into, year 2, but year 1 with a new offensive coordinator. And honestly, how much more does he have around him than last year? Let's be honest here. We think Stefon Diggs is still going to be a pretty good impact wide receiver in this league. He's on the wrong side of 30, and he's coming off a massive injury, an ACL injury that was in the middle of last season. Like, to think that he's just going to slot in there week 1 and be Stefon Diggs again is crazy. It's insane. You're hoping that hopefully after week 4, but maybe in the back half of the season, he is back and is a productive NFL receiver and is your number 1 guy kind of by default. That's what the hope is. And I think that's not unrealistic, but to say he's going to be in there week 1 and be the Patriots' number 1 guy and look like the Stefon Diggs that used to carve this team up, you're lying to yourself. And that's not fair to Drake Maye, to be totally honest with you. And then you look at the rest of it. How much is different? Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, another year older, another year slower. Kayshon Boutte being dangled in trade talks. Probably not for another wide receiver, by the way, that trade. And who knows if that even happens at this point. Pop Douglas, we all love the promise of him, but it's not like that led them to any kind of offensive glory last year. So when you look at it, you've added Mac Hollins, who, I mean, I don't know how much that guy's going to give you. He's fine. Another Chris Hogan, which is perfectly fine for this team right now. They could use a Chris Hogan, to be honest with you. You've added that, and you have added hopefully 70% of what Stefon Diggs used to be. Outside of that, you're still stuck with Kayshon Boutte, Pop Douglas, Hunter Henry, Jalen Polk, maybe Javon Baker. You're really running back a lot of the same cast, and you're adding Stefon Diggs, a rookie Travion Henderson, and Mac Hollins, and Kyle Williams, whom I like too. I like some of the upside of these guys, but if you expect them to go out week 1 and score 4 touchdowns, I just doubt that's going to happen. And when the Patriots are going to win games this year, they're going to do it with their defense. I said it in the segment last week. Check it out on the channel if you didn't see it, about the Patriots' leap that they're going to make on defense to potentially being a top 10, potentially a top 5 defense in the league. I really believe they have the pieces to make up that kind of an elite defense that we've seen quite often. We saw quite often in the Belichick years. Especially like 2021, that was a suffocating defense. Man, that was a lot of fun to watch. This team could be that. And that's how they're going to win games. You look at the last 2 years and the 8 combined wins, and specifically I look at 2023, and you just look at how many games they would have won if they had been able to score 14 points. Not a lot to ask for in the NFL. It is when Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi are your quarterbacks, but typically not a lot to ask in the NFL. And that's how they're going to win games this year, because they can score 17 points or 14 points. Not because they're going to beat someone 31-27. That's probably not going to happen very often. And we need to kind of have some patience with this thing. Drake Maye might not even look spectacular by week 6. Doesn't mean he's going to suck for the rest of his career. It just means we've got to get games under this kid's belt in the new system. The Patriots are going to win games this year on defense. And Mike Frable saw that right away of, hey, we love this kid. He's going to be the future of our franchise. Talking about Drake Maye. He's going to be the future. And I think we all believe he's going to be a very good quarterback in this league. But I'm going to bring in the guy who's best for his career, Josh McDaniels. Notoriously, it takes a minute. It takes a minute for these guys to learn. Now, we saw it mostly with Brady, and Mac Jones was great at learning it very quickly. But look at some of the other position groups, the running backs, the tight ends, the receivers who did not get it right away. James White and Shane Vereen basically sitting out a whole first year because they weren't grasping the playbook. Yeah, that's common. That's common for this guy, for Josh McDaniels. The results are what they are. And they're pretty good. But Mike Frable saw right away, if we're going to start winning, we need to build a better defense. Drake Maye will cover up some holes, but we got to give this kid some time to learn the Josh McDaniels offense. So I have been surprised at how many people have taken too much stock into a May 20th bad performance from Drake Maye when he's wearing shorts, throwing the guys for the first time this year. Of course, it doesn't matter to anything that Drake Maye throws 4 picks, but Christian Gonzalez is having a great camp because he had 2 of them. It's just it is what it is. But the Patriots are not going to be winning games this year on the right arm of Drake Maye. That will come in the future. That will come in the future, in my opinion. But they're going to win games on defense this year, which leads me to kind of my final point that I'll go back to. It's not just automatic that he's going to be dynamite in year 2. And I'm stunned at how many Patriots fans just automatically Sharpie that in. Like, we just saw it. Drake Maye has better arm talent and better physical tools than Mac Jones did. And I think we all like the trajectory of Drake Maye even better than we like the Mac Jones trajectory when things were going well. Right? I think we can tell there's a clear difference there. But Mac made a Pro Bowl for whatever that's worth. And more importantly, his team made the playoffs. He led them to the playoffs, man. He looked like the rookie of the year for a good chunk of that season. And yet, in year 2, he gets an injury and the wheels start to fall off. And in year 3, he's horrible and nobody can see him as a starter in the league. And a first-round pick, picked 15th overall, gets traded for a 6th-round pick to go be a backup in Jacksonville to someone else who was in his draft class or the year before. In the draft class. 21. In the draft class. So this thing could go south in a hurry. In an absolute hiccup. So I don't get the Patriots fans that just watch this Mac Jones thing thinking, all right, here comes Pro Bowl season Drake Maye with maybe an extra weapon. Maybe. If Stefon Diggs is even, 3/4 of what he used to be. That's the only way they're adding a weapon, is if Stefon Diggs does come back to that kind of player. Anything close to it. But right now, it's looking like a lot of the same usual suspects from last year for an offense that really could not get a lot done, even with the promising quarterback play. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What is this offense going to look like this year? What do you expect out of Drake Maye this year? Let me know in the comment section. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's completely free, and it helps me keep my job. We're coming at you 5 days a week live on YouTube, and then wherever you get your podcasts as well. Check out the other videos on the channel to see what we're talking with the Patriots, as well as everything else going on in Boston sports. I'm your host, Cam Stewart. Zach Burke keeps us on the air every single day.